Hey everyone, my name is Sean Cecil from the Oculus Institute, and today we're going to talk about dopamine. So I was listening to the Huberman Lab podcast the other day, which, by the way, if you don't listen to it, it's a great podcast run by Dr. Andrew Huberman from Stanford Medical School. And he was talking about dopamine and how dopamine works in the brain. And something hit me, wow, this is really applicable for people burning out in their careers. So let's talk about what he shared, and then I'll kind of transition to how it applies to you and how you can make sure that you don't get yourself into a nasty situation with your dopamine dynamics. So what he was describing is that, dopamine is the neurotransmitter related to motivation. It's the drive, it's the, I'm going to go do things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, of course, in our society, many people aren't aligned with what they're doing, and they may not have a lot of natural motivation for certain things because they, maybe they're working in jobs they hate, or maybe they're getting consumed by stress or whatever else is happening. And so people will consume substances or engage in behaviors to increase their dopamine. They will consume caffeine, they will consume energy drinks, they will consume sugar. They will force themselves to work through and just push through on sheer adrenaline. And so what Dr. Huberman was talking about is that when you do this, the dopamine's kind of like a wave pool. And the more you make those waves and the bigger you make those waves, the more water sloshes out of the wave pool, and your dopamine will actually reset to a lower baseline. And then you will find yourself drained. You will find yourself unmotivated, and it can take time to recover. And the more that you push the system, the more you go into overdrive, the deeper that hole is going to be, the longer the recovery is going to take. Now, I see this all the time with people I talk to regarding their careers, because people come to me when they're burned out. Well, how do you get burned out? You push yourself, you stay up late, you drink the energy drinks, you force yourself to work 80 hours, 100 hours a week. You force yourself to be in stressful environments, which is triggering all of these, catecholamines, which is the group that includes dopamine. And so you're pushing yourself, and then you just deplete this wave pool, and now you're completely burned out, right? And you'll have people who, are just incapable of working for weeks at a time. And it's actually a natural response because the brain's trying to heal. The brain's trying to get back to baseline. Unfortunately, it gets even more complicated because now you take 3 or 4 weeks off, and now your system has kind of acclimatized towards not working. Worse, it's created an association between work and the burnout you experienced, right? And that makes it very difficult to get back on the horse and to get back into the job market. I've seen people derailed for months, which is much longer than it takes for the dopamine system to replenish. Just because now they've built these new habits and there's a new status quo, and making a change is going to be unusual and disruptive and all this stuff. So the key here is to avoid the crash and burn, right? Intervene before it gets to that point. If you see that you're starting to push yourself, if you see that the system's starting to go into overdrive, if you see that you're requiring ever more sugar and caffeine to stay up, or that the job's getting more and more stressful, start looking for solutions then. Don't wait until it's gotten to the point that you've completely burned out and crashed and the dopamine wave pool is nearly empty, because that makes it so much harder to recover from. Hey everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found value here, or if there was something that resonated with you, then I'd encourage you to explore more and check out my free 5-video workshop series on how to figure out your next career step. All you have to do is go to www.oculusinstitute.com/nextcareerstep. It'll take you to the first video in the playlist. You can go through, watch all of them, and at the end, you'll know what's the next step for you to bring you to a career that's both fulfilling and financially prosperous. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the other side.